Hello, citizens of Gotham U. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching. Oh, wait, hold on. Dang. Hello, citizens of Gotham. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Political Vigilante. Hello, how is everybody doing? Shortest stream ever, yes. Good to see everybody in the chat. Holly Horn is our moderator. We got a lot of good people here. Some of you just came over from Status Quo. Yeah, that was interesting. I was watching some of that today. Or Daddy Joe Strong, Deha Ko, M. Can, Alex Dasalibi, everybody, Carl Knight, everybody is here. Michael Cooper, good to have you. Wendy, Dante, hello. And everybody watching over on the Rock, on the Rockford. So check that out. There we go. All right, we got a fantastic show for you today, folks. Ooh, a lot of evidence about a banking collapse happening, and Joe Biden's approval rating is not going well. Shocking. And it's already starting. You have to vote for Biden to stop Trump. Yeah, but how is Biden going to make things better? It's the same old, it's fantastic. It's the same argument I've heard for 30 years. The Democrats, as I predicted, as I said, are going to run he's not Trump. That's not a campaign. That's not a campaign. My life is not better with Joe Biden as president. It wasn't better with Donald Trump as president. It wasn't better as Obama. Obama really made it worse by letting the bank steal my home. That really crushed me in so many levels. So, yeah. Joe Biden wasn't popular before he was elected. Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah. I'm saying this right over here. Accepting that I don't even try saying the Serenity Prayer. All right. All right. There it is. Our first super chat of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Alex Das Liebe. Shave Your Knuckles for Justice, or Alfred, as we call him around Wayne Manor. Folks, you can do what Alex Das Liebe has done and support the show. The super chats have been back for several months now. Thank God, after 2.5 years of being censored by big tech. Biden must believe the polls. He acknowledged greedflation and talked about improving supply chain just in time. Does he know he is 4 years too late to look at supply chains? Yeah. Biden doesn't even know where he's at. Biden doesn't even know where he's at. So it's so insane that we're going to, if it's Biden versus Trump again, we're going to have these two old creeps. Joe Biden doesn't know where he is. And Trump has made up his own reality. It's madness. It's absolute madness. Yeah. So we'll be hearing that needed to give Biden the time to finish what he has started. Yeah. I remember when Obama once he gets that, you got to the second term is when he's going to really get it done. And he didn't. Yeah. 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 I heard the lesser two evil. Yeah, the lesser two. It's back. It's 2016 all over again, guys. Somebody's online blaming Jill Stein because she's running again. So they're blaming her for 2016. It's just like 2016 all over again. Unreal. The same old tired arguments. But Cornel West can't win. You're wasting your vote. Oh, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. It's the same old arguments. I even stopped arguing with this Hollywood guy, Carlos Alazraqui. I just said, I don't agree with you. I just stopped because I've heard these arguments. I heard him 7 years ago. I don't want to talk to them. They're just as crazy. Yeah. Yeah. I'd appreciate one of those idiots would just be honest and run a bigger of two evils. I know, the lesser of two evils thing. It's insane. Never looked into conspiracies much, but since I deliver the mail, I see newsletters for Freemasons. I see Iran kicked them out in 1979 and USSR let them back in after the Cold War. Interesting. We're screwed 2024. Evil is evil. There's no lesser about it. Yeah, that's the thing that the lesser of two evil crowd doesn't seem to understand. Evil is still evil. Evil is still evil. Yeah. It's about principle. Yeah. I'm not voting for the lesser of two rapists. The lesser of two rapists. That's what I call them in 2020. Oh, it's so tedious. I'm going to have to listen to this same bullshit from 2016, from 2020. It's the same bullshit. It's really like, oh, it's so exhausting. I just can't wait to leave this country. I really just can't wait. What do you call a marmot falling from outer space? A marmite. Ha! Nice. Nice, Anna. Screwed and tattooed. Yeah, it's such a crazy, like, it's just, it's amazing to me, man. I think the CIA must use them like the church to infiltrate nations. Think they're called Hongmen in China. Oh, I don't know. The Freemasons, yeah, they're very much a mystery. I can't tell if they're like a secret society of good or a secret society of evil. I can't tell. If you could leave, where would you go? Bonus points if it's anything other than El Salvador. Okay, my second choice, since you just named my first choice. There's a lot of places in Central and South America I would live. Costa Rica I've been to Costa Rica. I really like it. I'm really liking Latin America because Latin America's on the rise. Australia, I like Australia. They're trying to follow in America's footsteps, which is bad. I mean, Brazil, now that it's got Lula, maybe. I mean, I was in Lisbon, Portugal. It was really cool. It's like a European California. Yeah, I've been to Panama too. Panama's nice. I don't see the December 7th show on Stream Live. Yeah, let me check that. I'm going to see them this week. So the December 7th show, if you go to grahamelwood.com, if you're going to be in Los Angeles, hey, Annabelle's here. Hello from down under, Annabelle. Good to see you in the chat. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're well. So we're doing the show December 7th. The Anything Can Happen TV taping. So if you're in Los Angeles, you can be in the studio audience. So check that out. And we're going to be streaming it on Stream Live. The Stream Live app still doesn't, let me check it. It is Discover. Can happen. Yeah, it's not there yet. All right, I'll talk to them and try to get it on the StreamYard thing. I'll get that squared away. We're going in there this week for a tech run through, so I'll hopefully get that fixed. But as far as I know, it's going to be on Stream Live, so that's what we talked about. So, Alex Das Liebe, shave your knuckles for justice. I voted for whomever you voted for. Can you believe how it all worked out? I've been thinking about responses for the voter shaming. Joe Biden 2024. This time it'll be different. That's great. The voter shaming. Australia is Americanish with a few differences that make it better. Yeah, the lack of gun violence. I know a lot of people own guns like out in the outback, but the laws are pretty strict. Anything can happen. So much fun to watch. So yes, December 7th at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 o'clock Eastern time, we will be doing Anything Can Happen in front of a live audience, streaming it. We're shooting a pilot. We have Ron, myself, obviously. We're going to have Donia on the keyboards and two fantastic contestants, Kira Sultanovich and Robin Tran. Both have been on the show before. It's going to be fantastic. So, yeah. So, Beach. The beaches in Australia are fantastic. The surfing in Australia is great. Here's that. Here's my website, grahamelwood.com. So if you're in LA, come to the show. It's a week from this Thursday. So week and a half, it's coming up. It'll be so much fun. And it's a cool, intimate little space for a TV taping. So you're gonna really love it. So check it out. All right, let's get a hot fresh segment ready to roll. What do you think about that, kids? You ready for a hot fresh segment? Are you ready? All right. All right. Okay, so let's do that. All right. Let's get our first segment ready to rock and roll. All right, kids, I'll be back in less than 10 seconds. Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Boom Political Bam Bam Pow 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 Vigilante. Vigilante, as we say in the more affluent circles of YouTube mania. Oh my God. It's starting. The blaming the third party voters is starting again. If you guys wouldn't have voted for Jill Stein, we wouldn't have had Trump. All right, a broken record from 7 years ago. Hillary did not campaign in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. That's not Jill Stein's fault. Hillary ran a horrible campaign. That's not Jill Stein's fault. That's not Bernboro's fault. That's not Russia's fault. If you take all of the Jill Stein voters and apply them to Hillary, she still would not have won in the swing states. She wouldn't have gotten more electoral votes. Okay, that's a fact. Those are numbers. I can't make that up. That's a fact. Ew. Because the real reason is the neoliberals cannot handle the fact that Biden could lose. I don't want Trump to be president. I don't like Trump. He's awful. He will be a vindictive, see you next Tuesday if he is elected again. Whoever wins in November, the other side's going to say they cheated, right? So that's going to happen no matter what. So, and then there could be riots in the streets, and then they'll impose martial law, and then we won't have elections ever again. So some really crazy, scary stuff could happen. So I don't want Trump to be president. I don't like him at all, but Trump is very, very beatable. But the Democrats never do anything to win. They just run horrible campaigns with horrible politicians that are unlikable. And then even when they get in office, they don't do anything they say they were going to do. And then what do? Do they look in the mirror and go, wow, boy, Hillary really took accountability. She's the first one to hold herself accountable. Nope. She's still belly aching about it and saying stupid crap like a ceasefire benefits Hamas. She's awful. Joe Biden has taken more money from AIPAC and pro-Israel lobbies than any current living politician, any active politician. He's taken the most over the totality of his career. Gee, could this have anything to do with it? No, let's blame Jill Stein and Cornel West. So they don't want to face the fact that Biden is horrible. They're still stuck in Trump derangement syndrome. This is the reality. Why are Biden in a free fall? I'll tell you why. Because young people who primarily were the ones that voted, that helped get Biden elected in 2020, are like, they're the ones in the streets, not exclusively, all age groups are in the streets, but the young people 18 to 34 are like, wait a minute, we are 70% of them, of that age group, is like, does not agree with what Israel is doing to Palestine and doesn't agree with them at all. Not only do they want a ceasefire, they're just like, and those kids are very much knowledgeable enough to realize the difference between a Zionist and someone that's Jewish. They see it. And there's all of these Jewish people out in the streets and on social media saying, we do not agree with Israel at all. And Biden's relentless support, because he's paid to support Israel, just like Lindsey Graham is what's costing him potentially this upcoming election. And it'll be the Democrats' fault for Joe Biden losing. It'll be the Democrats' fault. Before I even get into this article, I mean, let me add a few things. Joe Biden, when he was sworn in January of 2021, we were still in the middle of COVID. It was still declared a national emergency. When any president there's a national emergency, they're given broad powers. One of the things Joe Biden could have done is given us Medicare for all, given everybody free healthcare in the middle of a once in 100-year pandemic. He did not do that. 85% of all student loans are federally backed, meaning he could have forgiven 85% of loans. He could have just done that by executive order. He didn't do it. That would have freed up money in the economy. That's not even giving people tax. That's just saying you don't owe us this bill anymore. Right? Oh, how are we going to pay for it? The same, but what does he do? He's signed more drilling permits than Trump did. So if Trump's so bad, Trump's awful, how is Biden worse when he is in fact he's worse for the environment than Trump? I didn't think that was possible. Like, it's preposterous. He signed more drilling permits on federal lands than Trump did. That is a fact. I'm not making that number up. That's not a wacky conspiracy. That means he's worse for the environment. But they're going to blame everybody else. It's unreal. So here we go in this dumb country. Significant majority displeased with Biden's foreign policy, especially in the Middle East. This is watch this. Well, there's supposed to be a video there playing, but it's not. But what is happening? Biden is losing the support of Arab American voters in key U.S. swing states. America's strong support for Israel and its actions in Gaza are having a ripple effect on the U.S. presidential race. A new poll done by NBC News shows that President Joe Biden's approval rating has declined to the lowest level in his presidency at just 40%. This is largely because 60% of voters do not approve of his foreign policy, in particular his handling of the Middle East conflict. What would be especially worrying for the White House is that a whopping 70% of young Democratic voters between the ages of 18 to 34 disapprove of Biden's handling of the Israeli-Hamas war. Again, it's not a war between Israel and Hamas. Israel is bombing civilians in Gaza. They're killing innocent people. And so that's right there is the mainstream media's and believe that Israel has gone too far in its military actions in Gaza. Even worse, the poll also finds that Joe Biden will fall behind Donald Trump if the election were held today. The Democrats are hoping the remaining 11 months till the election will change their fortunes, but it won't be easy. Biden's age, he just turned 81, and general disapproval with the way he has handled key policy issues like student loans are already working against him. Now he's also losing support in key demographic over his foreign policy. Just 2 months ago, 46% of voters between the ages of 18 and 34 said they approved of Biden's job performance. That has dropped to 31% now. Now, America will go, well, we got to get Joe Biden out of there, and then they'll vote for Trump or Republican, which is like that's what is so maddening about America. Whoever's in the White House, they're making sure the war machine keeps going and they benefit the ruling elites. And then everyone says, we just need to get that person out of there. And then they want to vote in the other corrupt idiot from the other horrifying party, which will probably be what happens. I mean, anything can happen in the next 11 months, but people are fed up and they'll just keep this dumb football just keeps getting kicked back and forth between these two awful parties. Right? I mean, and the Republicans are now the anti-war party. That's hilarious. If Trump was in office, he got $2.7 million from the defense industry. Biden got $3.1 million. That was back in 2020. So if Trump was in office, we would be going to war. And we just have more. The Republicans and Trump are just overt fascists, and the Democrats are the sort of warm, cuddly, rainbow flag waving fascists. It's both parties support war. Both parties support Wall Street bailouts. And Americans just keep falling for this lesser of two evil things. So it is insane. What I'm hoping is Jill Stein is running as the Green candidate. We're going to have her on the show this week. Cornel West is running as an independent. He was People's Party, then he was Green Party. Now he's running as an independent. RFK Jr. was running as a Democrat. Now he's running as an independent. Was it Celia de la Cruz? I believe she's running the PSL party or PLS, whatever. She's running. I think the only way to really have an effective change in this country is if some of those people unify. And that could happen, but don't hold out any hope because it's going to be nuts. I mean, the Republicans could decide to not allow Trump to get the nomination, and then Trump would run as an independent. Which would be insane. Which would be insane. And people are like, why vote for Cornel West? How could he change Congress? Well, this is why you vote for down ballot Greens and independents to get them in there. But I don't have much hope for electoral politics. I'll keep voting, of course. I always vote, but I don't have much hope for electoral politics. I think America's done. This is the winding down of an empire. It is collapsing. The only issue is how far is it going to collapse? How long is the collapse going to be? How deep? And what are the consequences of the collapse? What's it going to look like for all of us Americans on a day-to-day basis? That's the only thing I can see. So follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. Register to vote and vote independent, vote third party, vote for all the ballot measures. Those things matter. The reason why more people voting third party can actually potentially change things, that's what I believe. But as I said, it might be too late. Yeah, somebody just put in the chat, electoral politics is about corporate control. You're seeing how is one of the reasons things are actually changing in terms of demanding a ceasefire is people are shutting down corporations' ability to earn money. You have to shut down the money. This notion, and this is where the neoliberal, and just this is Americans in general, but the neoliberal that's like, you can't vote third party. A vote for Cornel West is a vote for Trump. Because they have this notion that every 4 years and you're going to vote and this person's going to get this, they're going to ride in on their horse and everything's going to be great. And it's like, no. And then I always say, well, what happened when Obama was in office for 8 years? How come he didn't do anything? Oh, the Republicans blocked him. Biden can't get anything done because the Republicans. Okay, so then the presidency doesn't have that much power. So what does it matter if it's Trump or Biden? Well, that's different. So let me see if I got this straight. According to the neoliberals, when Republicans are in the White House, they have all this power and they wield it and it's evil. When the Democrats are in the White House, they can't get anything done because of the Republicans. Oh, God. It's so insane. This country is so insane. And I have to tolerate the next 11 months of this nonsense of listening to this crap. But we'll follow it. We'll show you how ridiculous it is, guys. Follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. That's how we make Gotham great again. Shave your knuckles for justice. And before you do that, go to GrahamElwood.com. December 7th, we're doing the Anything Can Happen game show, the game show where we make fun of the whole political system. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun night. You can be a part of the studio audience in Hollywood, California, December 7th. Go to GrahamElwood.com. We will also be live streaming it on an app called Stream Live. That is December 7th. Go to GrahamElwood.com and shave your knuckles for justice. Boom. All right. All right. Mike, it's short and sweet, kids. Let's get our next segment. And then this one. That's Biden's approval rate. Okay, so we'll start with this one. Hold on, gang. Hold on, gang. Boop, 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 beep, boop. Beep, boop, 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 boop. This segment, this was the first, I did the Biden one first because I knew it was kind of a short and sweet, bang it out. This one is going to be a little more involved. Folks, over there, you can support the show, but Graham, it'll be the most important election in your lifetime. That's what I was told in 1996 when I voted third party. I was like, I voted for Clinton in 92. I was a young man. I thought maybe, Clinton. I voted third party in 96. And I was like, Graham, you're helping Bob Dole. What about my children? I've leftover beef. I just can't with this country more. I just can't. We're doomed. I know. It's a bummer. Yeah. It's so it is nuts. There. Just breathe. Just breathe. Big hoopla of JFK's too young president. What a wonderful problem. Oh, he was such a good guy, and they murdered him. Represent.us. Hello, what's up? Ranked choice voting. It's the old bloke against the other old bloke election cycle. 70 will be young at this point. It's the most important election ever. All right, let's do our second segment. Represent.us. You can phone bank with them. Oh, wow, that's cool. All right. All right, this next segment's going to be a big doozy. Here it comes. Buckle up, another segment. Don't forget you can do a super chat to support the show and support our show all these other ways at rockman.com/Graham Elwood and patreon.com. /Graham Elwood. And you can go to grahamelwood.com and support us at the website. I have a Bitcoin wallet you can donate to. There's a lot of ways to support what we're doing. Here we go. Hello, citizens of Gotham. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Political Bam Vigilante. I told you this in March when the SVB bank went under and they started bailing out the banks, and Joe Biden came on the news and said, your money's safe. I was like, oh no. And what has slowly been quietly been happening is banks have been denying deposits over the Thanksgiving week. Okay. So when everyone's talking about Thanksgiving and all the news stories were like, what's the best gravy to make or whatever? And there's deals over at the Best Buy, and go trample another human being to get a discount TV or whatever the stories were. All of these kind of quiet, like, deposits were taking forever to go through. Banks have been closing branches. I'm going to show you a bunch of stories today to show you that, the banks are sort of quietly collapsing. They're trying to keep it. I don't think they want to just announce it like they did in 2008. But remember the timeline. I showed you this in 2008, right? When I think it was the Lehman Brothers or Bear Stearns, whatever that first one was, it went under in March of 2008. And it was like, this is kind of a big deal. By September of 2008, everything collapsed. And there's been no real protections put in place. Dodd-Frank is, as I always call it, is a Band-Aid on a shotgun. But here is Bank of America branches that are closing in December 2023. Complete list. They're closing branches. Now you might say, this is just because everybody's going online and nobody needs to, blah, blah. I don't know. This was November 27th. Today, right? Bank of America will close several branches by the end of the year. Here's the full list of locations closing in December. Bank of America announced that it will be closing several branches across the United States, with the closure scheduled to take place before the end of the year. Other financial giants such as JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo have also closed various locations in recent months, with more closures expected. All right. The popularity of online banks has resulted in major banks closing down physical branches, leaving customers with fewer options for in-person assistance. Oh, okay. Maybe it's just the technology's changing. And then it gives you a list. Okay, that sounds like it could be sort of reasonable. Maybe that's just one little big story. We don't need to turn it into a big thing. Oh, these are all the bank failures. This is from the FDIC. This is the federal government's FDIC.gov. There's an uptick in bank failures, not closing a branch because online, everybody's going online. Failures. Look at this number right down here. That means they're out of money, right? This is in Citizens Bank in Sac City, Iowa, went under November 3rd. It had approximately $66 million in assets, $59 million in deposits. Iowa Trust and Savings to assume all the deposits and of Citizens Bank. Okay, so these are banks that have closed. Heartland Bank, First Republic Bank, we talked about that, was in May. Signature Bank in New York, we talked about that. That was the big ones in March. Silicon Valley Bank, right? That seems like more than just closing branches because everyone's going to banks online. Layoffs sparked by Citigroup's overhaul started this week. Here's the full list of major U.S. companies slashing staff this year. This is from November 15th, the week before Thanksgiving. This year, layoffs have expanded beyond tech, media, and finance, and retail companies also cutting. Layoffs have remained an unfortunate reality of 2023, continuing pace with the cuts made at dozens of companies towards the end of last year. Banking giant Citigroup started planned layoffs Wednesday after CEO Jane Fraser announced a corporate overhaul in September. A final number of how many will be affected by the cuts haven't been disclosed yet. But somebody told CNBC the bank could let go of at least 10% of several major businesses. This is a bad sign. According to its 2022 annual report, Citigroup has recently employed about 240,000 employees. A number of those employees began finding out they're no longer employed on Wednesday. So 10% would be something like 24,000 layoffs, roughly, right? So tech companies have slashed more than 244,000 jobs. When they cut 80,000 in March from March in 2020 of 80,000, 15,000 in 2021. Yeah, this seems... Let's check this story out. Almost all loans are bad. Why banks aren't lending. Rising deposit costs and capital needs are making lenders pickier at the cost of growth. This was in September, right? This is in the Wall Street Journal. Then there's this story. Credit card delinquencies continue to rise. Who's missing payments? So I want to kind of stop, show you what all of this means, right? So we've got several things happening here. Layoffs. Okay. So that means fewer people are working. That means there's less money in the economy. Plus the interest rates are high. So it's harder. Less people are buying homes because, 3 years ago, you could buy a home at a 2 or 3% interest rate. Now it's a 7% interest rate. That's significant to your monthly mortgage payment. So then you have all these layoffs, which means people don't have as much money, but consumer debt is going up. So banks are not giving out loans, which means there's just less money for people to borrow and use. Companies can't get loans. It's harder to get a home equity line of credit. People's credit card debt is going up because they're still spending, right? It's the holidays, whatever. So that means people are going to be defaulting on these credit cards. They're going to be defaulting on their loans, which means the banks lose that money. And the banks are closing branches and the banks are laying people off. And I showed you in March how there was like, we're starting a banking crisis. You see how this all ties in? Are all the banks going to collapse? I don't know. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Let's show you another story. Negative equity surges, millions of Americans now underwater on auto loans. Early signs of a negative equity surge in the auto loan sector have begun to emerge in the first quarter of 2023. According to data from Edmunds, the average negative equity value of auto trade-in was $5,300 in Q4 of 2022, up 29% from the previous year. The number of vehicle sales that involved a trade-in with a negative equity also jumped by 17% over the same period. Well, negative equity is when you owe $20,000 on a car that's worth $12,500, whatever. So the vehicle has negative equity. Oof. The chip shortage of the last several years and other supply chain issues have had a dramatic and well-documented impact on the supply of new vehicles. A resulting lack of availability and increased prices also drive up the price of used cars to record highs in 21 and 22. That means that people who bought used cars during this time did so at inflated prices. Look at this. This is 21 and 22. Look at that. But drastically inflated prices on pre-owned vehicles is only one part of the equation. When prices were at their highest, many people found their cars were suddenly worth more than before, often carrying positive equity. This means that while buyers had to pay more for used cars, used car owners could also sell them for more too. However, used car prices started to fall rapidly toward the end of 22. As a result, the value of many of the cars purchased over the previous 2 years dropped significantly. For many borrowers, the value dipped below so what they're saying, used car prices, because there was a new car, the chip shortage, the new cars weren't available or weren't as many available. So it drove used car prices up. So people that bought used cars were paying, and they took car loans out. Like let's say it's a used car that's normally brand new. It's $35,000, but used, you could have gotten it for 18, but the price drove up to 22. You had to take a loan out on it. And then the value of the car drops. So all of a sudden now you're upside down. The higher interest rates. Wow. Look at these used car rates are over 10% now. They were between 8 and 9%, and now they're over 10. The cost of living. Loan delinquencies are also on the rise. Recent reports would suggest that many have been left without the ability to even meet their expenses, let alone find extra room in the budget to pay more towards their car loans. According to a report from Cox Automotive, auto loan delinquency rates have climbed to their highest levels in over 15 years. Auto loans are considered to be severely delinquent when past due by 60 days or more. The data from Cox Automotive shows that 1.89% of all auto loans were severely delinquent in January of 23, and the highest rate since 2006. What does this all mean? If consumer debt goes up and there's more layoffs, that means people could eventually just start filing for more bankruptcy and just be like, I don't have this. So then the banks lose the money. And if the banks are lending more money than they have, and then there's a run on the banks, any number of crazy scenarios could happen. People are living over their means, which isn't good. But then but part of that is the inflation. Things are costing more now than they used to. So I said, that's why I'm in a credit union. And that's why I own Bitcoin. So follow your money, follow the money, follow your money, connect the dots and get the truth. And be careful, because we could have a huge economic collapse in the United States in the next 3 to 6 months. Be careful. Be careful. That's why I said buy Bitcoin. And shave your knuckles for justice. Boom. Hey, Graham, greets from Germany. We talk at the breakfast of adopting Bitcoin. What's up there, Phil? How are you, brother? Thank you for, you've got to met so many cool people. I wanted to reach out to you, and I think was the other guy, Sasha. You guys were doing the mining. Met so many cool people at adopting Bitcoin in El Salvador. It was so great. Good to see you in the chat, my friend. Yeah. Thank you for that segment, guys. Thanks for supporting our show. Getting laid off is horrible, but it's an extra turd on the shit Sunday when you get laid off in time for the holidays. Yeah. It's brutal, man. It's brutal. Bitcoin is only tied to the dollar in terms of its pricing, but it's yeah, read the book Investing Bitcoin, read the Bitcoin white paper. Graham, why don't you talk about the second Armenian genocide? Oh man, I'm sorry. A friend of mine who's Armenian sent me some information on that, and I wanted to make sure I got more information to talk about that, but I understand that that's happening, and I will. I know I've said that in the past, and I apologize. Yeah, and there's, God, Israel is, yeah. Sorry, I'm just making sure I got this all correct. $3 super sticker, Kinky. Thank you. Super sticker, Kinky. Thank you for supporting the show. I think there's currently 8 genocides going on, if I'm not mistaken. Sadly, you're probably right. I know there's something going on in the Congo. How messed up is it that I can't keep track of all of them? The Fed increased rates to hurt the working class. If the goal was to reduce excess currency and circulation inflation, then they could have taken that money from the billionaires. Yeah, you're right. They will never do that, unfortunately, because we live in a completely corrupt system. But I agree with you, man. Chris became a new member. Chris, thank you so much. Shave your knuckles for justice. Kinky, Chris, welcome. Kinky comes here a lot. I know you guys. The minds of Biden and Trump make Bernie seem like a 40-year-old. Good to see everybody in the chat. Wait, what do we got there? Sorry, let me, boom. All right. Great way to support the show. How long do I think the Israel-Hamas war will go on? I don't know. It's pretty awful. I think, though, this is going to be the undoing of Israel and the United States. And well, the United States has been undoing itself for quite a while now, the last couple of decades. But yeah. I hope it ends soon, but I don't know. It seems like it's going to keep going. USA won't report. Yes. Sorry if this has been asked and answered, but what are your thoughts on CZ and Binance? Oh, you know what? That's a great question. And I forgot to post it because we went into the holidays, but I did an hour interview last Wednesday with Max Kaiser, and he really talked a lot at great length about why CZ was corrupt. He was just as corrupt as SBF at FTX, and they were like competing scam artists. And So I will release that this week. The interview with Max Kaiser. It's an hour long. I'll probably cut it up in about 2 or 3 sections. We talked about a lot of different stuff. It was really cool. But the first thing we talked about was the CZ thing. So I'll drop that interview, and then I'll drop the whole full interview with Max as well. So you'll get it. It's really, I would watch that beefcake, leftover beefcake. It's Kaiser talking. He's really on point with that. He's, excited about Milei and Argentina. And I was like, I'm worried about Milei because he's pro-Israel and stuff like that. But Kaiser's like just a hard money guy. So, oh yeah, Max Kaiser is absolutely a Bitcoin maximalist. All right, Wendy, take care. Privatize the gains and socialize the lows again. I know. Oh, we're in a debt spiral. No one's buying you American bonds, which is buying American debt, banking that, America will be fine, so we'll buy its debt. So countries are stopped buying the debt. That's another thing I forgot to add. Yeah, the world is very corrupt. All right, gang. Well, that's our show. I appreciate all of the support. Yeah, watch the Max Kaiser interview. I mean, I'll post the separate clips, but if you're I think if you obviously if you're a Rockfin Premium member, you can go watch the Max Kaiser interview right now. And if you're a Patreon member, you can go watch the Kaiser interview right now. Janet Yellen is crying. Sure. So we'll be live again tomorrow at 5:00 Pacific. Wednesday, we're going to have, it looks like I'm going to have Jill Stein on during the day. I'm confirming that time, and then we'll do government secrets at 5:00 at night. Keep doing what you're doing, Graham. You're my favorite show to watch. I will, and I appreciate your support. I really do. I'm just one guy trying to keep the lights on. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Thank you, Holly Horn, our moderator. Thank you for the super chats and the stickers and all the support. I really appreciate that. And we'll have a bunch of action-packed stuff this week. Yeah, another live stream tomorrow. I'm going to see if I can get maybe Jordan Sheridan on, but I'm talking to Jill Stein's press secretary. I just got an email from her, so I'm going to confirm a time, but hopefully we'll have her on Wednesday. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Or morning, or wherever you're at in the world. Thank you for supporting what we're doing. Thank you for, I won't forget about the Armenian thing because my friend told me about it. There's a friend of the show, Ken Wolf, that is aware of what's going on with Armenia, and I will cover that. I apologize I said I was going to cover it, and I did. There's just too much crazy stuff. I can't cover everything. I'm just one guy. Get over it, Graham, and concentrate on Gotham. You got it. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. And again, December 7th, if you're in Los Angeles, buy a ticket to the show. It's at grahamelwood.com. And we will have a link up for the actual live stream, but you'll be able to watch it if you're not in Los Angeles, December 7th at 7:00 Pacific, 10:00 Eastern. So thank you, Holly Horn, our moderator. Thank you to all of you in the chat. And really appreciate it. The super chats as well, all the support. And sign up for rockfin.com/GrahamElwood. Sign up for the Patreon. You get a lot of cool bonus exclusive content. You get the whole archive of shows. And follow your money, connect the dots, and get the truth. Ba-boom. And shave your knuckles for justice.